Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys awesome interviews, and it is an honor and privilege to have Mr. Stephen Brewer. He is the guitarist of the mighty Westfield Massacre. They have a previous album that's out called self-titled Westfield Massacre, but Stephen was not part of this. Neither was Ira, Eric, and I think Dio, but we'll get into that too. But if you get a chance, check out the debut album called Westfield Massacre. It's really, really freaking amazing. Steven, how's it going, my brother?
Hey, John, how's it going, dude? Thanks for having me, man. I'm doing all right.
Awesome. Glad to get you guys on here to talk about Westfield Massacre. I know that you guys have one album that's already out, but like I said, you were not part of that. Neither was Steven or Eric, and I don't know about Dio, but we'll get to that here just a little bit too. But I want to get into this for a little bit. How shocked or excited are you guys that your Kickstarter met your goal for the new album, man, and the support of the fans helping you guys reach your goal to this?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, that's really the only way I can even respond to that. We exceeded our goal by like over $5,000, you know. And to begin with, a goal like 20, I think our goal that we posted was 27,800 or something like that, or maybe it was 28,700. But I mean, you know, we needed that money to obviously go to the recording costs of the new record, and then also a lot of legal battles that we were kind of tackling too, as far as leaving our old label and, you know, a lot of stuff like that. You know, unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of money to just go spend on Doritos and Mountain Dew. You know what I mean? To say the least. But, you know, it was amazing. Like, we did an interview at NAMM, and a guy was like, hey, man, you know, you guys have people around the world. And he started naming countries of where people backed us. And it's amazing, man. You know, we, like, it's hard for me to even talk about it because I'm just flabbergasted by it. But, you know, it's amazing. We were really surprised by the response of our fans and how they got involved and helped us do it. Because it's one thing to... You know, it's one thing to donate and be like, okay, cool, sing on your way. But these guys, you know, our fans around the world were involved. I mean, they're in the trenches with us every day on Facebook or Twitter, or like telling their friends or tagging their friends, or they'd message me and say, hey, you know, can I change my package, man? I want to help you guys up more. I want to give you guys another $50. And, you know, we'd work with them. So it was amazing, man. We had people from, obviously, the States, Thailand, New Zealand, Australia, man, all over Europe. I mean, because, you know, I was one who did a lot of the kind of the online work for it, so I would see where all the orders were coming from, and we'd have it from everywhere around the world. I mean, literally New Zealand, Germany, Thailand, a couple of countries I can't even pronounce. So it's just amazing. It's very grounding. We're very thankful.
Isn't it beautiful how music can bring every flavor of countries together? Don't care what your skin color is, and how much it brings us together, man. Ain't it beautiful?
Oh yeah, man, we're all in this together, man. Music is a universal language.
Yes,
everyone can speak it, even when they don't realize it.
Yes, sir. Stephen, what's impressed you the most about writing the new album, or what's caught your eye about it, if anything, man?
Well, I actually, I know earlier you said that we weren't involved in the first record, but we actually were.
Okay.
Probably about 70% of the first record was done, and then myself, Eric, and Dio came in and finished it. You know, there's still a few songs that need to be completed, and then a couple final finishing touches on some other songs.
Okay.
So we got our feet wet on the first record, but you know, this record is like, this is us 100%. You know, we put the roof, we put the crown mold on the old house. You know what I mean? And we kind of made sure that the front door worked, and now it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Here's the land. Let's clear it out. Let's build a house from scratch. So that's really, you know, really rewarding. And the song just sounded phenomenal. I mean, it just, like, it's you know, it's Westfield, but we really fine-tuned our craft. I mean, they sound amazing. You know, every song that we've been cranking out, it's like, oh, this is gonna be the single. No, this is gonna be the single. Well, that was pretty cool too. Which, I mean, I guess that's a good problem to have. So we're really anxious to get it out there as soon as we can.
So are we going to get the same thing as far as the other album, the first one, or is this going to be a little tweaked up, a little bit more aggressive, or let's talk about that a little bit.
I mean, it's still us, obviously, but I think we're really fine-tuning it. We're really focusing on the song. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they're still shredding. There's still, you know, fast drums and all this other stuff, but we really wanted to fine tune and really work on our songs. We have great songs on the first record, but we're really focusing, on the choruses, on like just big melodies, and just like how can we make things bigger and more memorable.
Here's the $1 million question. And when you do it yourself in the Kickstarters and things like that, are you guys going to produce this album yourself, or do you already have someone at this time in mind? What about that?
Right now, we're working with Joseph McQueen at Echelon Studios, who did the first record. And then also we're working with Augustus Crines at Sunset Sound. So we're actually tracking the guitars and drums at Sunset Sound, which is in, I guess, like North Hollywood. And then Tommy's doing a lot of his vocals and a lot of that type of stuff at Echelon, which is in Glendale, which is where the entire first record was done. So these guys are really helping us kind of get everything done, and they're phenomenal engineers and producers. So it's all coming together really well, man. We're all building the house together.
I tell you what, I'm not lying to you. I sat right here and watched your guys practice a couple weeks ago when you guys went live.
Okay.
I was really impressed, which I'm impressed with this band anyway. I love the first album, and I can't wait for this new one to come out too, because you guys got a lot of support from me on here.
Oh, well, dude, thanks so much, John. And that's so cool.
Speaking of that, man, any songs off the new album that stand out more to you than any? Are they ones that, that we should be looking forward to? I mean, let's talk about that.
I think I'm allowed to talk about this. We actually will have a new song being released this month.
Okay.
So I guess that's the one that we should be looking out for. We get that coming out and a couple other surprises, and the breadcrumbs are gonna start coming out, and we're gonna start getting people ready. We're like I said, we're rocking and rolling. So I can't wait for it all to come out. But there'll definitely be a new song come out this month.
What helps you guys keep your mind fresh and open to new, especially like new guitar riffs, new guitar solos? How hard are you pushing yourself from song to song on this, Stephen?
I think one thing that's really helpful is that myself, Ira, and Eric are all writing. Eric, who plays bass in Westfield, is actually a guitarist, So it's not like he's limited to only bass stuff, like, hey, here's a cool bass riff or here's a cool bass idea. He'll come to me or Ira or Tommy. He's like, hey, dude, check out this song I wrote on guitar. And it's like, whoa, this is awesome. And he's actually written a lot of the record. All of us have. And so that really helps because we have three people to bounce ideas off of. If it was just me writing, it'd sound like a Stephen Brewer record. It'd be just thrash metal, shredding, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
If it was Ira, it'd be kind of traditional American Pantera riffs and like a little bit of flair here. And then if it's just, so on and so forth. So that we all kind of take like our favorite flavoring or seasoning, I should say. I'm trying to think of a way to really kind of explain this. And we kind of put it in a blender. That way it's not just one sound. So we're able to bounce ideas off of one another. And that's really kind of kept things fresh. And then also another thing too is we're not afraid to tell somebody that something sucks.
Yeah.
Which you really, you kind of got to sulk in it a little bit, but it's for the greater good. It's not like, oh, I want the front door to be yellow or I want the bricks to be blue. It's like, no, man, let's just build a beautiful home to live in, So we're all fighting the same battle. So I think that's something that really helps is that we all want the best record possible. So we're not compromising any so that we're all actually helping each other.
In your own opinion, what do you hope the fans take away from this new album once it's released and once everybody starts to digest this, Stephen? What do you hope they get? What do you hope that they take away from it?
I want our fans to go, "Holy shit, I was a part of this."
Yeah. Yeah.
But like this, wow, like this is a band that reached out to their fans around the world and said, "Hey, help us. Here's our little flare in the air, SOS," because that's literally what we did. I mean, the fate of the band. Honestly, our future depended on that Kickstarter, man. To be very sincere and transparent with you, John, had we not had a successful Kickstarter, we probably wouldn't be a band right now, honestly.
Jeez.
So that really, and we're going to have that all on the record, in the liner notes, like, hey, everyone was a part of this. So that's really gratifying, and we're sincerely grateful. So, our fans are going to see what they've helped create. And I think that's the most important part.
It's crazy, man, on how things are in the world today with music, and that blows my mind. Without this Kickstarter, you guys wouldn't be around. That's wow, dude. That would suck.
Yeah, we thought the same thing. We're like, it'd suck if we couldn't do this, because the five of us are on the same page. We all want the exact same thing. we're on the same page, the same sentence, the same word, the same letter. Like we were all in it, we're lifers. We're in this to win it, and we just had to find a way to make it happen. And unfortunately, the way things kind of worked out with our first label is it wasn't really the longevity of the band, and that label wasn't going to be really cohesive or symbiotic, I should say. So we needed to break away. And of course, when all that kind of happens, legal stuff happens, and you got to pay for X, Y, and Z, and you name it, man. It's like, you can't just go buy a car. You have to have the tags, you have to have the papers, you have to pay taxes to own it. It's just like things aren't as simple as they should be. So, yeah, man, the Kickstarter and that number that we chose, I want to say it was 27,800. For some reason, I keep getting my numbers mixed up. It was like 27,800. That was the minimum amount that we could ask for to cohesively move forward. We crunched numbers saying, hey, cool, X amount would, we allocated all of our expenses and costs and say, hey, look, man, if we want to do something, we need to have a funding like this. And, as soon as all that happened, we immediately started paying our debt that we owed. So it's not like we netted, $30,000, not by any means,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that quickly went away. It's like you get your paycheck and it's like, cool, pay rent, do this, pay for that, car insurance, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I need groceries. And it's like, okay, cool. Now I got $40 to go see a movie, But yeah, honestly, the fate of the band really hinged on the Kickstarter, and our fans rose to the occasion and said, hey, look, we want you guys to stick around. So we're eternally grateful.
What can fans expect at a show from the mighty Westfield Massacre that's not got to see you guys yet when they come out, man?
Loudness. Yeah. Couple ringing ears. We put on a good show, we all, man, like before we go on stage, we were like, all right, let's do this, let's have a good show. We go in there and we just, we go ape shit. We have fun. That's one thing. Like, we're playing like brutal metal or whatever. People see that we're having fun. Yeah, it's a good time. People come out, even people who aren't necessarily a fan of the band or that type of music, like, man, that was fun. Like, you guys perform well, and so it's always a good time. You should come out if you haven't seen us play yet, or if not, we're just gonna come to you. I mean, we're looking at a lot of U.S. tours for this year, so we'll come to anyone who hasn't seen us yet, no doubt.
That's what I was going to suggest, man. I've seen some of these festivals lined up, and I can't believe that you guys are not part of them as of right now. Especially like Rock on the Range or Louder Than Life. I like to see you guys at Louder Than Life in Louisville, Kentucky in October. That's where I want to see you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be amazing. John, we got a lot of irons in the fire right now.
Yeah.
And, in the next 30 to 45 days, a lot of stuff is going to be unveiled, and we'll have a lot clearer image of what's all going on this year. But we definitely have a lot of irons in the fire cooking. And, it just takes time, a lot of hurry up and wait, but this is definitely going to be a very busy year for us, and we're definitely going to we're going to return to a lot of places that we played last year, and then we're going to go to a lot of new places this year. So we're all pumped. We're just as pumped as you are, brother.
Do you like the digital era that we're in right now of recording albums, getting your music out there quicker and faster? Do you guys like this right now or no?
I don't really think that we really have a choice, honestly. The digital era as a whole, I mean, it's helpful. Man, that's a really broad question.
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, because it's just kind of the way that things. It's the contemporary way of doing things, and to be a contemporary band like Westfield Massacre is, and kind of keep up with everything. This kind of is what it is. There's definitely like conveniences to it. I'm a big fan of old rock and roll, like Rush and Queen and all these other bands that didn't do that. So it's just kind of. It kind of is what it is, but there's definitely convenience to it. So, I definitely do see the help that it's provided us.
In your own opinion, what does Westfield Massacre bring to the table for music that's not out there today right now, man?
I think we're bridging the gap between, when Metallica came out with the Black Album, right. And it was heavy enough for the people who were like Slayer, but not heavy enough for the people who were like, oh, I like rock and roll. It kind of bridged the gap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of like the Guns N' Roses fans and then like the Slayer, Megadeth fans. I think that's what Westfield's doing now in today's market. Or maybe I'm biased because I kind of know the band. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But I think we're kind of bridging the gap between the harsher side of the spectrum and the more melodic side. There's definitely like a void that needs to be filled of a band that can kind of sit in that area, and I really feel like we're shaping up to be that band that can sit right there, tastefully between. I don't want to say radio rock because that's kind of an ugly term. Unfortunately, there's a lot of great bands around radio, so I shouldn't say that. But we're really kind of shaping up to be that band to be between both sides of the spectrum of brutal heavy and wow, that's a good fucking song. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's really that's to me that's our end game, and that's it's kind of happened naturally too. We have a very eclectic sound, so if the pieces fit, we'll be it.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark, man, that said that's what I want to do right there?
I got Injustice for All by Metallica on my 12th birthday.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was 12 years old in the backseat of my mom's car listening to Blackened. And I was like, man, fuck Pokemon. Like I'm doing this. That's the quote of the day,
That's exactly right.
So, yeah. So here we are, man. 12-year-old Stephen listening to Metallica, and here we are today.
Dude, I think that's the best response I've ever gotten.
Yeah?
Oh, it's great.
It's the truth, though. Like, it wasn't like I was like, oh, I was 16 smoking pot with my brother. Like, no, like I was like 12 years old, and someone gave me a Metallica CD.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, listen to this. And I was like, what? I turned it around, and they all had long hair, and I'm like, oh, these guys look like girls. I'm 12 years old,
Right.
I'm a child. And then I play it, and I was like, this guy's talking about like Mother Earth, Gonna Die,
Yeah.
One, Eye of the Beholder, Harvester of Sorrow. I was like, man, this is amazing. I'm like 12 years old, probably wearing like a Dragon Ball Z t-shirt or something. You know what I mean?
I was sitting here one day watching MTV when MTV was good at the time and showing videos.
Yeah.
And actually promoting bands the way they should have been. And I was watching Top 10 Countdown. I was a Guns N' Roses fan at the time. I still am a Guns N' Roses fan. But when Metallica...
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But when Metallica came on the scene and one, I think it was one that knocked Guns N' Roses out of the top spot. I think that's when they had Patience, and one came about. I was pissed.
Yeah, it's like in 1990, yeah.
Yeah, I was pissed. I was like, fuck Metallica. And then all of a sudden, they play Metallica. I was like, Johnny Lackey.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? Don't fuck them. They're nice. Yeah.
I was like, this is fucking amazing. And then, not even 2 weeks later, my buddy calls. He's like, I found Master of Puppets. I said, Master of Puppets? I said, who's that? He's like, it's a band called Metallica. I said, I'll be right there in a minute.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
God, Metallica saved my life. So
no, they've saved my life multiple times.
That's amazing.
Like I said, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be on the phone with you right now.
And today is Cliff's birthday. Happy 55th birthday, my brother in heaven.
Really? Wow!
Yes.
Happy birthday, Cliff.
Yeah, today.
I have to listen to some Orion or Call of Cthulhu. That's so cool.
I was actually paying homage this morning and playing Anesthesia and Pulling Teeth live version.
Yeah.
Of it,
so. Yeah. Wow.
55
That's
years
amazing.
old. Yeah, it is. It is. It's crazy to even think he's even gone. That's the funny part.
Yeah. I actually met his father, Ray Burton.
Really?
Yeah, I met his father at the whiskey one night. This is when I first moved to LA.
Yeah.
And of course I was like wide eye, like, oh my God, there's that person.
Yeah.
Oh, picture. And I ended up talking to his father, Ray Burton, and his dad was like, Ray was like, hey kid, do you want to get a picture? And I was like, yeah, that'd be amazing. And we started chit-chatting for a minute, and he was telling me about Cliff, and he was like, look, man, Cliff followed his dreams, and you pretty much, to summarize it, he was like, Cliff followed his dreams, and you should too. And I was like, whoa, the most profound thing possible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Cliff is the reason why I started playing music. Hands down. I mean, I suck at it, but listening to him inspired me to say, hey, I want to try that.
Yeah, exactly, man. Everybody needs that catalyst.
Yeah. But there's nobody, and I'll say it right now, I'm not knocking any bass players that are out there right now to this day. But there is nobody that can touch Cliff Burton to this day. Nobody.
Yeah, he definitely had, you know, his interpretation and what he brought to metal is definitely kind of one in a million. You know, I'll definitely say that.
Any show or moment that stands out more to you than any possibly with Westfield Massacre, man, that you're on stage going, wow, I can't really believe I'm part of this right now?
I think there's two shows.
Okay.
So Westfield is actually like my first like legit serious touring band. You know, like I did the whole thing of like I'm originally from North Carolina. I moved to LA a couple years ago, and I played like in little bands here and there, but didn't really go anywhere. Mm-hmm. But I remember the very first night of the Seven Dust Trivium and Westfield tour. I remember walking on stage, and it was the first night we were in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I remember just walking on stage, like during our intro tape. We go out there and we play Darkness Divides, so the whole intro is playing.
Yeah.
I remember walking out there and like the lights are dark, and then the lights turned on, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's a lot of people!" I mean, it was, like the first 4 nights of that tour were sold out. I mean, a lot of that tour was sold out, but I remember the first 4 nights were just like boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And I remember I was so excited. I probably played some things wrong, but it was just a blur because it was just like, wow, like this is it. It was a lot of emotions at once, kind of like shock, anxious, excited. I mean, just like, wow, this is so cool. Holy shit, I better do well, So that was one. And then also, when we played the PlayStation Theater, which used to be called the Best Buy Theater in Times Square, New York, that was on the same tour with Trivium and Seven Dust.
Wow.
On Seven Dust's tour.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's like, oh my God, like 2,200 people there, I think, is what it held, and it was sold out. So that's 2,200 people. And probably 80% of them were there when we walked on stage. A lot of times you go to a show and it's like, they kind of trickle in. Okay, cool, the headliner's on. Bam, packed, I remember walking on stage and I was just, I guess, a very historic stage, and I'd never been to New York. So it was just a really new experience for me as a whole. And man, I was, I'm just grateful, man. Like, I love my guys, my band, Tommy, Ira, Eric, and Dio. And I'm just very grateful that, I'm able to experience these opportunities with them, so that's all I can say.
You're talking about like playing a show like that and seeing fans trickle in every now and again. But I went and watched the Danzig 25th anniversary tour in Louisville, Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And you just got me thinking about that. I watched a great fucking band, A Pale Horse Named Death. Fucking awesome.
Yeah, band. Yeah.
Awesome band. And I'm standing in the middle of the floor, dude.
And it's like nobody around you.
Nobody around me. And I'm going, are you fucking kidding me? Are you folks?
It's like you 8 people and the bartender there, right?
Yeah, well, I guarantee there was 50 people. I'm not shitting you.
Yeah. Man, it's the way it is. Like, I can't blame them. You got to earn your keep. I mean, there's definitely some nights when we play and it's like, okay, cool, it's us, the sound guy, and 20 people.
Yeah.
So, you gotta pick and choose your battles, man, and just kind of roll the punches.
What's it mean to you guys, and I'm sure you get this, when you receive an email from a fan or prior to the shows or after the shows, Stephen, they'll come up to you guys and tell you that, hey, your music has pulled me through a dark time. It's gave me inspiration to overcome obstacles, or it's just made me relax the everyday bullshit that we go through. What's it mean to you guys if y'all ever get that?
We actually do get that a lot, and we get in person, or we get on an email or a Facebook message, and we're grateful because like let's be honest, man, life is hard.
Yeah.
We're only on the earth for a short period of time, but there's definitely obstacles that we all face, and some are more personal than others. But we're all in this together, man. It's like you said earlier, no one race, skin color or religion or who you want to sleep with or whatever it may be. Like music is universal. Mm-hmm. It's the language that we all speak, and we all communicate it, even when we're not realizing it. And it's so gratifying, and we're grateful that we're able to help anyone make their day better or help anyone relieve anything, because we would hope that they would do the same for us. Like a fan is basically a friend. It's like, hey, look, man, we're your friends. And then a fan can say, hey, I'm your friend too. I mean, man, money can't buy that. That's the damn truth.
That's exactly fucking right, man. And I wish people would wake up and realize that money's not everything. It's not.
No.
And I get it. My payment out of this is getting to meet you guys and shaking your hand and saying thank you for what you do.
Well, dude, I mean, that alone is enough for us, and we appreciate it, John. Yeah. That's so cool.
When is this album coming out? When is, what's the time frame on the new album, man?
Hopefully it will be out this spring. We're looking at a couple of options on how we're going to release it. A lot of that really kind of dictates the foreseeable future, and I really can't dive too heavily in that because a lot of it's kind of surprising.
Right.
A lot of surprises, but a lot of like I said, we got a lot of stuff that's kind of being ironed out. The record's being finished, and we're looking at our options and how we're going to release it. If it's going to be a self-release, if we're going to sign with another record label, we got a lot of options that we're looking at. So hopefully this spring is what we're looking at. A lot of it's been recorded, so. Like I said, it's just a lot of the legal stuff and paperwork and kind of, the footwork needs to be done now.
Folks, if you get a chance to check out Westfield Massacre, please, I suggest to do so. Pick up their debut album called Westfield Massacre. Great fucking album from these guys. As a fan, Stephen, thank you all for sticking around on what you guys are doing, man.
Dude, thank you for having us, John, man, and thank you for having us on the show and support. And thank you for being a fan. Like I said earlier, we're thankful. So thank you so much for having us and helping us coordinate this quick little interview.
How can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise when this hits out and everything like that? Because I know the Kickstarter's over with, but follow tour dates, things like that. How can they do that, man?
The best bet would be to find us on Facebook. You can just literally go on Facebook and type in Westfield Massacre. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on all the social media. I would definitely say, follow us on all because we kind of do a couple of different things here and there for certain followers, to kind of entice people to kind of be connected all around.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you'll definitely see that, we got a lot of cool things coming out from the shoot this year. So you definitely want to be connected so you can be informed.
Hey, before I let you go, good sir, will you care to do a promo for the show?
Yeah. What do I need to say? Okay, cool. Hey, this is Stephen Brewer from Westfield Massacre, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber CD Radio. Thanks, Stephen.
Yeah, no, thanks so much, man.